Tag TV, and Tag Radio, rapidly becoming the leading technology new media in all of Georgia and the Southeast. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by Integrated Learning Services, integratedlearningservices.com. Wait, worry, or take control. At integratedlearningservices.com, increase sales, productivity, and client retention. Lower training costs. integratedlearningservices.com. The STEM focus continues as part 3 in our special series on science, technology, engineering, and math education in Georgia goes to one of the largest and best K-12 public school districts in our state. Largest with 123 schools and other educational facilities and servicing over 158,000 students. Its students are among the highest achieving, most talented in all the state, historically outperforming all others on standard assessments and excelling in a wide range of extracurricular activities. It boasts one of the largest and most active parent-teacher associations in the nation, the largest employer in its county, and one of the top employers in all of Georgia. The school district has been recognized as an employee of choice and for its determined belief that the quality of personnel is a critical factor in providing a quality education. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, April 20th, 2010, and this is Tech Talk, special 4-part series on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math education in Georgia and its impact on our state's future knowledge-based workforce, economic prosperity, and global competitiveness. Your host for this special STEM series is TAG Education Collaborative Founding Executive Director, John Hulbut. The county school district that stands out as both the largest and one of the best in all of Georgia, Gwinnett County Public Schools. On this third segment of our 4-part series, John speaks with former presidential appointee in the George W. Bush administration and the current director of Science Curriculum and Instruction K-12 in Gwinnett Public Schools, Mary Elizabeth A. Davis. Mary Elizabeth managed an initiative that supported school districts as they implemented the accountability expectation of the Bush administration, No Child Left Behind. A former policy advisor to U.S. Senator Rick Santorum, she helped craft several education-related legislation. STEM in our K-12 public schools, a focus on one of the state's largest districts, and keen insight into Gwinnett's success and future vision as Executive Director John Hulbut speaks with Gwinnett County Public School Director of Science Curriculum K-12, nationally recognized academic and education thought leader Mary Elizabeth Davis.
Mary Elizabeth, welcome to Tech Talk.
Well, good afternoon, John, and thank you for having me today.
Well, we're going to have a lot of fun, I know, because you have a great background and work for a fantastic school district. Gwinnett County Public Schools has a real high-quality staff, and you're certainly an indication of that. And I know that you have worked with school districts at a national level as an appointee in the George W. Bush administration. Would you mind just saying a little bit about that and things you did relative to the accountability expectations of No Child Left Behind?
Sure thing. As No Child Left Behind was implemented into law under the George W. Bush administration, there was a recognized opportunity to enhance the communication that was made available to school districts as they were implementing the new legislative expectations. And the opportunity that I was presented was to work as a presidential appointee in the Bush administration in order to foster much of that communication and to work directly as a liaison between the administration and local boards of education, superintendents, and schools in and of themselves to actually make adjustments into their practices that would reflect the accountability measures that were now in place.
Well, that's fantastic. That sure prepared you well for what you're doing now. In terms of Gwinnett County, everything that I think we all do in the STEM arena is geared toward workforce development. How is Gwinnett County responding to the region's demand for a stronger workforce in these STEM fields?
Gwinnett County Public Schools recognizes its role in attracting industry to our region as well as developing the future workforce for those industry representatives. And we take that call very seriously. As a matter of fact, we have made a commitment to more visibly integrating science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education in our K-12 curriculum. It has been a long-standing tradition in science education and in technology education and even in mathematics education that we remain somewhat siloed in our discussion and content delivery and even mastery expectations for students. Well, in Gwinnett County Public Schools, we are moving in a direction that has very clear integration opportunities in which our students are experiencing and using each one of those core content areas into their practice and into their learning.
Now, I believe that Gwinnett County is the largest school district in the state of Georgia. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How many students do you serve?
Just approaching 160,000 students.
How are these students engaging in the STEM activities that we've been talking about in Gwinnett, and what evidence suggests that their interest in STEM is enhanced?
You know, in Gwinnett County, we certainly enjoy the opportunity to experience what we might refer to as extracurricular activities or sort of layers of opportunities that are above and beyond the traditional curriculum expectations. So our students are highly engaged in robotics. They're highly engaged in the web challenge that TAG is the host of. And, of course, we have taken our science and engineering fair tradition and we have revitalized it into this dynamic expo or showcase of our students' science, technology, and engineering expertise. And we're also introducing students to what we refer to as an alternative energy expo, where students in our elementary grades are designing solar cookers, our middle grades are designing junior solar sprint cars, and our high school students are designing and racing hydrogen cars. And I say all this because while those extracurricular opportunities are certainly outstanding and intriguing ways to engage students, it is also vital that it parallels our core curriculum development that takes place and touches every single student, every single day, in every single one of our school buildings. And in that instance, we really see our elementary schools taking a very aggressive approach to exposing students to science, engineering, and technology education. We actually have had fantastic sponsors and partners in our districts, in our county, like AT&T, who sponsored the AT&T Science and Engineering Lab at Freeman's Mill Elementary School. Students are having those experiences much younger than they have ever had in past years. In our middle years, we're actually developing elective classes somewhat to go along with that home ec concept or what students might do in addition to their core curriculum classes. And those courses include nanotechnology, biotechnology, and this is in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So our students really have, during those formidable years, some exposure to those STEM industries. And then, of course, in our high school, we're really trying to begin bridging what workforce needs exist in our region and bring learning experiences to the classroom. And biotechnology is the perfect example. We're proud to have implemented a course called biotechnology, working very closely with Gwinnett Technical College here in our backyard, along with Georgia Tech down the road, and have really brought some unique learning experiences to the high school classroom.
Well, that's fantastic. Students really do get an opportunity in your school district, and you all deserve a lot of credit for all the opportunities that you're giving them. You had mentioned the science and engineering fair, and I think you all represent a region within the state in that fair. Have you shown any growth in that in the last couple of years?
We really have, actually. You know, I actually think that science fair has a PR problem, I like to say. A lot of people hear the word science fair and they think of Walmart runs at midnight because the science fair project is due at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning and I need to get this done for my kid. And actually, if you think about the core purpose of the Science and Engineering Fair, it so clearly reflects our desire to enhance 21st century skills in each one of our students. The idea of identifying a testable problem, developing a procedure in order to solve that problem, going through the process of collaborating with your peers or with academia or researchers in the field in order to troubleshoot your problem, and then to come before an audience and actually deliver and communicate and present your findings. Those are the skills our students will find most applicable to their work responsibilities leaving our K-12 environment. And we know that's what employers want to see our students able to do as they graduate from our system.
Well, that's fantastic. You can't do this without teachers either, can you?
That's correct.
I think educators are equipped to provide STEM experiences to their students. Are your educators equipped to provide good STEM experiences to their students? And how is their awareness enhanced?
Teachers are the fuel to this engine, and 160,000 students are not served without excellent leadership, the leadership that we have in our superintendent and CEO, Mr. Wilbanks, along with our longstanding Board of Education. And what we consider the actual heart of what we do every day happens in the classroom, and that is facilitated by the teacher. And as we've all gone through our own educational experiences, so have our teachers, and their educational experiences often consisted of those silos I referenced previously, where you took some math classes, and then you went along and you took some science classes, and then some technology classes, and then some engineering classes. So as we meet as a community of educators, we are beginning to bridge those integrations collectively as an organization. We recognize that as a community of educators that we have a role in responding to our region's demand for STEM-educated students. And so by exposing ourselves to new learning, by partnering with our excellent institutions as well as our industries, we're able to realize what has developed and changed in the field of STEM, as well as bring those experiences back to the classroom, and to implement that curriculum that integrates those areas so visibly.
Well, that's fantastic, Mary Elizabeth. Let's take that to another level. What role does Gwinnett County Public Schools have in attracting and retaining STEM industry to this region and state?
I think as TAG represents, we have a mission and a calling to be a state that welcomes and hosts nicely our STEM industries. And I believe that Gwinnett County Public Schools is a vital partner in that venture. We want to be committed to providing that future workforce, to providing graduates who are not only prepared to go on to secondary institutions, but also to postgraduate institutions, and to really be the brains behind the operation that these industries will need. We also recognize the balance of content learning with the real need for communication skills and the ability to problem solve and think critically, which is why we see STEM education as such an integral part of our K-12 environment.
You find students at all different kinds of levels, and some students are good at math, some students are good at science, some reading, whatever. But I think a common theme that I've seen, at least, and I would be interested if you agree with me on it, is writing skills. Have you all done something unique in that particular area?
Great question. Actually, a foundational component in Gwinnett County Public Schools is the Gateway Assessment. The Gateway Assessment in science actually occurs in a student's 10th grade year, and in that instance, they are asked to respond to a prompt and actually write a response that would answer a scientific question. And that question does actually integrate biology concepts along with chemistry concepts, and then expects a student to have some technical skill in delivering their remarks. That has become a hallmark of our district. We are proud to say that our students do not graduate our district without having demonstrated proficiency in that writing environment. Employers have made it clear to us that technical writing historically has been a weakness in graduates from our K-12 system, and we are tackling that very assertively in order to ensure that if you were to hire a Gwinnett County Public School graduate, you're going to be hiring someone who's had training and demonstrated proficiency in technical writing. And that gateway assessment in science has been in place since 1996, and really it most closely reflects those skills, those workforce skills that we would like our students to demonstrate.
That's fantastic. I know in our Web Challenge competition this year we've added a technical writing element to it as well, and it is so important.
I do like to add that the technical writing is something that a lot of us have had to do, especially in our college years, and it's hard to think back to when did you actually start to learn how to write in that manner. But we don't just wait till that 10th grade year to begin that type of training. We can introduce as early as kindergarten the ability to look at a graph and look at a table and to make some decisions about what those represent, and to actually begin to use the development of one's writing skills in general as an ability to technically write. So throughout our K-12 experience, that learning occurs incrementally over time.
That's just great. How do students, really one final question, how do students of Gwinnett County benefit from the involvement in industry, or with the involvement of industry in the K-12 education in your school district?
I think the bottom line is it challenges kids to dream. If industry is involved in what we do in our school system, they enhance the experience and exposure students have to what it is to dream about. No one wanted to be an astronaut until there was a space program. No one wanted to be a video game designer until there were video games. And so as soon as we have the opportunity to expose students to the amazing career opportunities that await them here in our region, in our state, then we would have the opportunity to give them some new dreams and to be the motivator for why they would pursue a STEM-related education pathway and a STEM-related career.
That's fantastic. I actually lied to you. I have one other question.
Okay.
Can somebody my age start all over in Gwinnett County School System?
Well, we welcome all students of all levels and on all ages. We would love to have you.
That'd be great. Well, Mary Elizabeth, this has been a fantastic interview, and I want to thank you for joining us today on Tech Talk.
Well, it's been an honor to be with you and with your listeners today. Thank you very much.